Hi everyone, here's the Bookchemist once again, and I finally checked out Volume 3 in Mark Danielewski's innovative, original, fucked up series, The Familiar. These huge books filled with all kinds of glossy pages and different fonts and all sorts of stuff you probably can see in the video. A series mixing the lives of so many different characters in the Los Angeles of 2014, in Los Angeles and all over the world, really, and mixing different genres and mixing different narrative styles, and there's elements of science fiction, great elements of detective and crime novel in the Familiar series. I love the first volume. I love the idea of this ambitious, great series. I thought it was maybe that some narrative strands worked more than others. At the end of volume 2, and you can check out my reviews of those books, I'll put links in the description box. At the end of volume 2 I felt enticed, I felt interested, but I felt like the series should have, it should have continued at a faster pace. At the end of volume 3 I'm more frustrated than before, but I'm also completely hooked, and now I know I'll probably carry on checking it out as far as it comes out. If Danielewski publishes all 27 of the volumes he has planned, I'll be a poorer but also a happier man. Is volume 3 different from the others? No, it's more of the same. The one thing that happens is that some of all these different strands, which you could perceive from the beginning that at one point would collide in a single narrative, some of these different strands are starting to come together, so that some people that you had no idea who the fuck they were or what they had to do with the narrative in general, now their stories make a little bit more sense. Not all of them. Some narrative strands are still kind of puzzling. And at the same time, the lives of these characters progress, and more horrible shit happens to them, and occasional great stuff happens to them. Of course, the story of Xanter, which is the child, the 12-year-old girl at the heart of this book, is by far the most interesting of all. Not only because she might have, she basically has a magical cat as a pet, which you know already if you've read volume 1 and 2. If you haven't, why are you watching the review of volume 3? And the life of her and her parents is by far the most comprehensible and interesting of all the different narrative strands. But some of the others too can give you rewarding snippets of narrative, rewarding reflections, even though some of them do not make sense. And the guy from Singapore needs to fucking die. We said this from the very beginning. JingJing, which is one of the characters in one of these strands, needs to be fucking eliminated, possibly in a very violent way, for the very simple reason that his chapters are completely incomprehensible. One of the great things about The Familiar is that at first look, when you look at the pages, and maybe these pages are made with all kinds of parentheses or punctuation marks or figures or whatever, it looks incomprehensible. But when you read these pages, when you read the narrative straight up, it's brilliant and it's an easy read, or at least it's it's an understandable read. But no, JingJing needs to fucking die. And I was convinced at the end of volume 2 that he died. I was sure, I truly believe that he died. And at one point in this book, one chapter, and I'm going to spoil you this, one chapter ends with him having his face bitten off. And I was like, yeah, JingJing is fucking dead. But then he came up again. No, Mark Danielewski, either you make his narrative more understandable, or please just kill him. He's got a owned, carry on with the owned, and hopefully she will speak proper English, or in any case, or maybe even she will, speak in comic books, because one of the great things about The Familiar is also the fact that you get a comic book in it, but it lasts 2 pages per volume. Come on, Danielewski, give me something more. That's part of the great stuff in the series. Give me longer graphic novel, excerpts in each volume. As I mentioned, I'm frustrated, but I'm hooked. I love the characters, I love where the story is going, I love the way it plays with genres, elements of magic, elements of science fiction. I can't wait to see where all of this is going. Let me know if you are still a fan of The Familiar 3 volumes in. I'll be sure to check out volume 4 as soon as possible. Let me know what you think in the comments below. thank you so much for watching, guys. This especially sprawling and nonsensical review. I will see you in the next video, hopefully a more sensed one. Bye, guys.